Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to an exciting overview of the Week 5 Major 2 qualifiers for Black Ops 7 Call of Duty. Starting off Friday, we have the Toronto Koi versus the Cloud9 New York. Toronto Koi is looking really good with Kips and Insight waking up over on the AR. Should be an easy, quick victory. We'll go to the pick'ems shortly. Don't forget, if you aren't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and ring the notification bell to stay up to date with all the new content. Following that, we have the Riyadh Falcons against the Miami Heretics, which looks like a close one, both going into the weekend 4-3 records. To wrap up Friday, we have the Paris Gentlemates versus Optic Texas with a big 8-0 going into the major and into this weekend. Saturday, we have G2 Minnesota versus the Carolina Royal Ravens. Next is the Vancouver Surge versus Toronto Koi. Following that, the LA Thieves versus Cloud9 New York. And to wrap up Saturday, the Gentlemates versus Boston Breach with Spart and Nasty. Then rounding out the weekend, March 15th, we have G2 Minnesota taking on the Boston Breach. Second, we have Vancouver Surge versus the Miami Heretics. Next, and arguably the most exciting match for Sunday, the Riyadh Falcons going up against the LA Thieves. And wrapping up our weekend for Week 5, FaZe Vegas versus the Carolina Royal Ravens. Now we'll go over to the pick'ems, and last week, not my best, but definitely not the worst. Really, all these monster double points and the scuffle double points really saved me. So now we'll go down to the next week, looking at Week 5 once again. March 13th. It will not let me make my predictions yet, but I will just go ahead and tell you what they're going to be. We're going to go Toronto Koi 3-0 Cloud9. Following that, I'm on a Miami Heretics kick. Just to be blunt with you guys, I'm a big Trakes fan, big Super, big Rancor fan, and Metals has been more consistent recently. So I'm going to give it to the Miami Heretics. I'm going to say 3-1. 3-1. If this goes 5, I think Miami still take it. But I do want to say 3-1. Miami Heretics are going to come out shooting. They will take the overload. So we'll give Riyadh the first hard point. And then Miami will take the overload, the search, and the second hard point. Following that, we have Optic Texas versus Paris Gentlemates. I really like Neptune. I like the Paris Gentlemates squad, but Optic Texas is Optic Texas. They're coming into the weekend 8-0. Paris Gentlemates is on a downhill spiral. We're going to have to give it to Optic Texas 3-0. Going into Saturday's matches, Carolina versus G2. G2 is kind of hit or miss when it comes to online, but Carolina does not have the online prowess that they once had back in Major 1 whenever they first picked up Exceed. I'm going to say Carolina is going to take a search, although G2 is a great search team whenever they're firing. We'll go 3-1 for the G2 Minnesota. Toronto Koi versus Vancouver Surge. I don't see a world where Toronto Koi lose to Vancouver Surge unless they're working on that map pool density and depth, because Toronto Koi, they are looking real good on Den, but frankly, everything else could use a little bit more work, get a little bit more reps on that. So they may try to expand the map pool. Otherwise, I'm seeing a 3-0 for Toronto Koi, maybe a 3-1. Maybe Vancouver pulls out a Search and Destroy with Capsule and TJ. I think Gwyn is still just playing for stats. I'd love to see Vancouver try to pick up an AR and replace Gwyn. I think Gwyn's stats look great, but he's just not playing for the team. Following that, we have Cloud9 New York versus LA Thieves. LA surely 3-0. Get a little monster double points on that one. Following that, wrapping up Saturday once again, we have the Boston Breach against Paris Gentlemates. I like the Boston Breach squad minus the SMGs. Snoopy is playing better. Purge still not playing great, but all in all, they're just looking significantly better than Paris Gentlemates. I would love for this to be a bounce back series for the Gentlemates. I think it could be. But after getting 3-0'd by Optic the day before going into it, I'm going to give it to Boston Breach 3-2. We'll say Game 5. Game 5, probably not round 11, but maybe round 11. I think Breach will take both searches. Going into Sunday, we start off with the Boston Breach again. G2. G2 is just looking better than Boston. If Mamba can stay consistent and Ezreal show up and play at the same time, G2 we'll go 3-0 because I don't see really any mode that Boston Breach is better than G2 at. G2 a little bit of a slow start in the hard points, but once they get warmed up, they get warmed up. Overload, they just do a good job really pushing the spawns and controlling the device. Boston could always make an upset. It's not a crazy take. It's going to be a closer one than we're expecting. I'm going to say 3-0 though, just because I think G2 is going to pull it out early and fast. Next, we have the Miami Heretics going up against Vancouver Surge. I would like to see Capsule show me a little bit more this weekend. He played all right last week. Once again, I think a lot of that has to do with Gwyn on the main AR. It's just hard for Capsule to really make and take space whenever Gwyn is only playing for the kills and not playing for anything else on the map. Once again, I'm on my Miami Heretics high, so I'm going to go 3-1 for Miami Heretics. Sunday, LA Thieves versus Riyadh Falcons. Riyadh's looking real good, and LA is kind of wishy-washy. They will be coming off a really good series against Cloud9, so that should be easy dub for them. Have a little bit of motivation going into Sunday, but I have to give it to Riyadh with Kismet and Celium and Pred, and Exnid has really shown up in this major, so we'll give it to them. I don't think LA is going to win the Overload. Their Overload doesn't look great. They'll probably take a search. We'll give it 3-2 Riyadh Falcons. And then lastly, Carolina Royal Ravens against FaZe. FaZe is so hot and cold. I can't tell if this team's good. I can't tell if this team's bad. I think they have an inconsistent SMG problem and an inconsistent Draza on the flex problem. Because whenever Draza's shooting, they're going to win series. Whenever 04 is getting a lot of kills, they're going to win series. Simp and Abuza are pretty consistent, but they just need one of the other two to show up. Carolina's going to take a search. FaZe does not look good in Overload either, though. Carolina doesn't look great in Overload. So that one's going to be a toss-up. We'll go 3-2. Give it to FaZe. 3-2 FaZe win. And then we'll take a look at the fantasy to close us out for the night. I took a big dub last weekend, 7-19 over my brother. I'm sorry, Nick, that had happened that way. But really, the top of the race is still pretty close. 7-3, 6-3-1, 6-4, 6-4, 6-4. And then the bottom of the league kind of falls off. So looking at the matches for this week, we have Full going up against Styx. I really like to look who's playing multiple games at the same time. We'll do that whenever it's my turn. 04 and Simp, that's just hard. If 04 is not playing well, they're not going to win maps. So that it just makes it tough. If Crimp and Mamba play well, they could win 6 maps this weekend, and this will be a quick victory for Full. Next, we have Jadden versus Codfather. Scrap and Hydra on the same team. That's why I really don't like having 2 players on the same team going at the same time. Because if they're shooting and playing great, that's awesome. You're going to win. But I don't know. Nasty, Shotzi. Shotzi's playing really good. Envoy's got to kick it into gear. I don't know what Envoy's doing on the General Mace roster, but he is not helping their situation. Next, we have Nexus versus my brother. The Snoopy's really letting this team down. But he played better last weekend, so who knows? Who knows? We will see. Rancor. Abizi has been more consistent. I'll give it to Abizi. Hydra and Scrap. Scrap was just selling last weekend in the Search and Destroy. I don't know what he was doing. So this weekend we go up against Draza. I mean, I feel pretty good going up against Draza. Craze, Estriel, and Joey D. So let's see. They have FaZe, KOI, Minnesota, Ravens. So FaZe plays 1 match. Royal Ravens play 2. KOI plays 2. I believe they said G2. Yeah, G2 plays 2. So then the Heretics play 2. 1 easy, 1 tough. So that one, not guaranteed points. Riyadh plays 2. KOI also plays 2, though. The Gentlemanmates. Can I? Because I have to have 2 SMGs and 8. And a flex, which the flex could be an AR or a SMG. So the real question is, do we take out Kips or Super for Kismet. Because Kips plays twice. Kips is going to play Cloud9, so that's going to be a good one for them. And Surge, I think that's going to be a pretty high stat. Whereas Kismet plays Heretics and LA, tougher. Super is going to play the Falcons and Surge. So I think I'm going to leave my roster as it is, actually. So this is the roster we're going to go into the weekend with. I just don't have another SMG. I love Neptune. I think Neptune's still playing good, but Neptune and the General Mates just are not winning maps for me right now. I like Trakes too. I like Trakes a lot, actually. I probably do need to pick up another SMG, but we'll run with it. We'll run with it and see what happens. But that is going to be all for me. We may do individual videos for the recaps of the days. We may just do kind of a overall quick video come Monday. That's why you need to ring the notification bell to stay up to date whenever we go live or post. Or you can follow the Twitch and see whenever we go live also. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Like the video. Share it with your mom. Share it with your brother. Share it with your girlfriend or boyfriend. I appreciate it. You guys have a great night, great day. God bless, and stay frosty.